This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Night Takes Pawn, Book 1 of the Red Knight series by Martha Sweeney, to make the story appropriate for all listeners on YouTube. Read to you by the author. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided below in the description. Chapter 16, Night. Red, I call, after coming back inside and sitting on the chair at the end of the bed. I hear the water turn back on momentarily. As soon as it goes off, I call to her again. Red finally emerges, leaning against the doorway with her arms crossed. Come here, I direct. She doesn't move. This is one of those times where this woman is royally infuriating. Red, I repeat, with a more stern tone. Red lifts a brow. Come here, I repeat, a little more sternly. She waits a few seconds and then nonchalantly makes her way over to me. Red's arms are still crossed as she perks a brow, standing about a foot away. Sit, I direct, tapping my leg. Her eyes lower to my hand for a second. She's got a challenging expression. Woman, I huff. Red lets out a loud sigh as she finally complies. She lowers herself onto me with both legs on one side as if I'm her decking grandfather. I wrap my one arm around her waist as the other caresses her cheek. Red continues to show signs of being uncomfortable with our bodies touching, as they are at the moment, which is weird. The few times we've been completely naked and pretending to be having sex when someone barges in didn't faze her, at least not until we were alone again. Though Red acts timid or dismissive, her body unconsciously enjoys it when we're in contact. Her pupils always dilate, her pulse quickens, and her chest bounces a little more. I gently tug her head toward me, and she fights it. As I start to pull harder, she turns her face toward me at the last second, letting me know she's not happy. You've got to get used to this, I state. Red objects. We need to practice so you don't freak out each time I touch you when everyone else is around, I mention. She doesn't faze me. You know I won't force you. Not with that, I remind. But we need to make it look like we do. Red's head bobs slightly. I could force you, I say. Her head snaps and her eyes meet. Could, I repeat. I wait for a response, but she doesn't have one. I don't push you here when we are alone. And be grateful that I don't, or push to do half of the shit you've already witnessed and what you haven't yet. Red's cheeks flush with understanding. Anytime we've been with the group, not only are the men crude with their words, but they don't have a filter with their actions either. They don't just make out with the girls in front of everyone else, but they'll grope the girls or get blown while others are present. She has yet to see the orgies that take place sometimes. We can either work on you becoming more comfortable with us touching, or, I say, pausing to grab her attention. Red's eyes lift to look at me again. Or we can talk about who Allie is. Red's face remains calm, but there's a slight bit of panic in her eyes. I tilt my head to indicate that I'm waiting for her to answer. The reason why I'm questioning her is because I've heard her mumble during her sleep a few times over the past few weeks. Red takes a deep breath and then moves, straddling me. I shift back on the chair for her to be able to sit more comfortably. Her arms wrap around my neck, which makes her chest press into mine. I chuckle, knowing that she'd rather use her body than admit to anything. It's the very same thing I would do. Red's lips lower to mine timidly, but she deepens the embrace right after my tongue seeks to slip inside her mouth. Her legs tighten around me, and I could smell a hint of her arousal. We will talk about Allie soon, I inform, pulling from her kiss. Red tries to distract me with her lips, but I deny her access to my mouth. I slide my hands up her back and kiss her neck. You talk in your sleep, Red, I share, tugging her head back slightly after I get a hold of some hair. Her body tenses temporarily. We'll focus on this tonight, I say, running my fingers up her legs. But we will talk about that another time. Red slides her arms off of my shoulders, but she doesn't try to get up. I take her right hand and turn it so her palm is facing up. Making sure she's watching me, I lower my lips to her skin. Red's eyes stay on me diligently as my mouth presses kisses up her arm. I stop for a second and lick the bend in her elbow before continuing up to her shoulder. My teeth nip at her skin, and I can tell that she likes it. Goosebumps sprinkle along her arm, and her nipples are poking through her shirt. I continue dusting my lips along her collarbone and then up the right side of her neck, until I capture her earlobe in my teeth. My fingers tighten on her ass when I hear her gasp slightly. Why do you deny that you want it? I tease. Your body tells me that you do. Red holds her breath.
My head pulls back slightly and I find Red fighting to hide any and all emotion. With a smile, knowing that I'm getting to her, I kiss her cheek. We should get ready for bed, I say casually. Red doesn't move. I'm not sure if she wants me to continue or if she's confused by my sudden change in tactics. You did good, I praise. We'll practice more tomorrow. Red looks at me and I swear there's a hint of sexual frustration burning in her eyes. It looks like my plan is working. She'll be begging me soon enough to dagger. I like that I'm starting to break her. She's going to crack soon and we'll both be getting some much-needed relief. As I tap the sides of her upper thigh, I say, "Come on, I'm tired." Red shifts to a standing position and remains there while I move to the closet to change. She still hasn't moved when I walk past her and reach the bathroom. I wash up and once I make my way into the bedroom, I find Red in bed with a book. I slide in next to her and she turns off the light, settling under the blankets. I give her plenty of room knowing that she'll roll my way soon enough. At 10 in the morning, I wake to my alarm going off on my watch. Red is fast asleep. I watch her for a few minutes, touching myself before getting up and finishing in the shower. Controlling myself around her is getting harder and harder to do, especially with how receptive her body was last night. Knowing that I'll be gone for the next day or two with Jagger to take care of some business that won't involve any of the ladies being around, I carefully lock the handcuffs around Red's ankle and then secure it to the chain. I can't take any chances with her running. Do I trust her? No. Hell decking, no, I don't. Women are manipulative, and I know she sure as hell is a manipulative little minx, which is part of the reason why I chose her, and am attracted to her.
This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full, unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.